Most of us watch our discipline crumble not when the challenge arrives, but when the feeling leaves. You know the cycle. One day you're fueled by a burning why, and the next you're back to your old patterns, wondering where that version of you went. If this is you, you're not broken. You've just been trusting a ghost. Centuries ago, a legendary swordsman and strategist understood this flaw. He reached a level of legendary skill not by following fleeting inspiration, but by mastering a framework for action that worked even in total absence of feeling. His insights are shockingly relevant now, because the reasons we fail today are the same as they've always been. We launch with passion, meet friction, and retreat into comfort. Take Alex, an ordinary person who desperately wanted to change his trajectory, but could never maintain momentum beyond a week. He wasn't lacking will. He was relying on the wrong fuel. Everything shifted when he abandoned the pursuit of motivation and embraced the principles you're going to see. Principle 1. The foundation. The brutal courage to see your actual position. Alex believed he was disciplined because he was always in motion. Work, messages, errands, meetings. His days were full. He equated exhaustion with effort. But the first truth is this: motion is not progress. Activity is not achievement. The ancient master wrote that to see the distant, you must first perceive the minute. This means you need to understand both the microscopic habits consuming your hours and the macroscopic direction of your life. When Alex finally audited his days with zero forgiveness, he discovered an uncomfortable gap. He wasn't moving forward, he was spinning. Social media fragmented his attention. Multitasking drained his energy. His mind was everywhere and nowhere. The hardest pill? He didn't need more time. He was hemorrhaging it. The foundation teaches that true discipline starts the instant you stand before your reality and refuse to look away. Not the story you tell yourself, but the raw, unedited footage of your life. That clarity rearranged everything for Alex. He saw discipline wasn't a war against the clock, but a war against self-deception. You cannot build on a lie. Principle 2. The current. The power of shaping yourself to the obstacle, not attacking it. After his revelation, Alex did what we all do. He tried to overhaul his entire existence at dawn. The flawless plan: 4:30 a.m. alarm, 90-minute workout, 3 hours of uninterrupted work, no screens, perfect diet. It survived until breakfast. The current teaches the opposite force. The master wrote that water holds no rigid shape. It fills the container. This means your system must be formless against resistance. Alex learned that tiny actions weren't a compromise. They were the master key. 2 minutes of focus instead of 50. A walk around the block instead of a gym marathon. 1 paragraph instead of 10 pages. A river doesn't smash through the mountain. It finds a path around. In practice, this means shrink the task until refusal is absurd. Repeat it until it's automatic. Then, and only then, expand it until your old self wouldn't recognize you. By shaping himself to the challenge, Alex found traction where emotion had always failed him. Principle 3. The forge. Directing your heat, not being consumed by it. As Alex built momentum with micro-actions, he encountered a new danger: improvement. Because with progress comes the shadow of comparison. Someone was further, someone was faster, someone achieved more with less time. Here, heat arrives not as drive, but as emotional turbulence, jealousy, impatience, the critical inner voice. But the philosophy isn't about extinguishing this fire. It's about channeling it. A forge doesn't destroy metal, it tempers it. when Alex felt that inner spark of "you're still behind." He pivoted its aim. Not "I am failing," but "I am not finished." Not shame, but a redirected signal. Fire, when focused, becomes propulsion. He began transmuting every flicker of frustration into a precise adjustment for the next day. Slightly more focus, one more repetition, a sharper plan. The heat pushed him forward. Your frustration is not a stop sign, it is directional data. Principle 4. The horizon. The commitment to perpetual learning, never arriving. Months later, Alex had built remarkable consistency. He rose with purpose, worked with depth, trained his body, honed his mind. And then he made the predictable error. He thought he'd graduated. The horizon teaches that mastery is a direction, not a destination. The legendary warrior studied countless styles and strategies for his entire life, not to imitate, but to remain a perpetual student. The greatest risk of growth is believing you've outgrown the very practices that built you. So Alex deliberately returned to learning. Books, coaches, models of excellence far beyond his current sphere. Each new insight reminded him of the vast unknown. The horizon keeps you humble. It keeps you moving. It keeps the path endless. Discipline survives when curiosity is forever alive. Principle 5. The code. Action without negotiation, effort without drama. This is the most subtle principle because it must be experienced, not just explained. There comes a point where discipline ceases to feel like a conflict and begins to feel like character. Not because the work is lighter, but because you are heavier. Alex eventually touched what the master described. The moment you stop expecting the path to soften and realize you have hardened. You no longer barter with your weaker self. You don't hunt for reasons. You simply execute because it's your protocol. This is the code, the quiet authority of consistency beyond mood, the calm force of showing up without fanfare, the deep assurance of becoming a person you once doubted could exist. Principle 6. The mirror. Measure to see, not to obsess. 1. Tool supported Alex's entire journey. Intentional tracking. Not for toxic quantification, but for ruthless alignment with truth. The master practiced arts like poetry and meditation, each one a reflection of his inner state. Tracking your actions makes the invisible visible. Your routines become honest, your cycles become clear, your growth becomes objective. Discipline flourishes under the light of awareness. It withers in the fog of guesswork. In your world, this is your most honest tool. Principle 7. The ritual. Let the practice be the prize. The master didn't train solely for victory. He trained because the training itself was the point. Alex finally internalized the same truth. The focused session is the reward. The deep work is the reward. The chosen discomfort is the reward. The integrity you feel after honoring your word, that is the reward. Discipline becomes ironclad when the process itself becomes sacred, when you stop fixating on a distant finish line and start respecting the act itself. Not because it's pleasant, but because it's yours. The strongest version of you is built in the repetitions you don't celebrate. If you take one thing from this ancient framework, let it be this. Discipline isn't something you have. It's someone you become through repeated practice. And a practiced identity will always outlast a passing emotion. When the feeling vanishes, the system remains. When your energy dips, the protocol sustains you. When distraction whispers, the ritual answers. Most people never encounter their most capable self. Not because it's unreachable, but because they don't remain in the process long enough for it to appear. These principles are not just ideas. They are a path. The foundation, see truthfully. The current, adapt fluidly. The forge, channel your heat. The horizon, never stop learning. The code, act from identity. Alex walked this path. His life transformed. Yours can too. Starting not later, but now. The next step is yours. If this path resonated with you, the single biggest support for this channel is to hit the like button. It helps more than you know. And subscribe to the Inner Dialogue for more.